Hello everyone, welcome to Hooray Fitness. Today we are going to be going over different row variations from different positions. So the first position we have here is from the bench. The next row position we have is from the standing position. And the last but not least, we're going to go over our third position, which is going to be from our ground position. Ground row variations are great for starting the basics of rowing and allowing for more isolation of the posterior chain muscles of the back to work. The quadruped row is performed while being in all fours positions. The back should be neutral and the core should be braced. The dumbbell should be lifted until it makes contact with the side of your upper rib cage. And 3 sets of 10 reps will help build hypertrophy and muscle endurance in the upper back muscles, which will help in the posture of the head and neck. Bird dog rows are performed when the opposite hand and knee are in contact with the ground, with the other leg being elevated and the other hand being in contact with the dumbbell. When raising the dumbbell, make sure to make contact with the side of the upper rib cage and keep the core braced to prevent hip or core movement. In the plank rows, the traditional starting position is that of the push-up or plank. The core should be braced, the toes should be in contact with the ground. When one dumbbell is being raised to the side of the upper rib cage, the other dumbbell is in contact with the ground. Both sides are alternating in this movement. Keep the hips and the core still. 3 sets of 10 repetitions with this exercise can help with hypertrophy or endurance. The push-up rows start by assuming the same starting position as the plank row. However, there is an additional movement of the push-up added, followed by an alternating row on both sides. The core should be braced to minimize core and hip movement, and the contact point of the dumbbells should be the same as the other exercise. 3 sets of 8 repetitions could increase the hypertrophy of the upper back muscles. Out of the 3 bench row exercises, the 3-point row is the most stable of the bench row variations showed in this video. With the hand, knee, and foot in contact with the bench, the more stability allows for greater isolation of targeting the upper back muscles. The 2-point row starts with one hand in contact with the bench and both feet in contact with the ground. The hips should hinge over to make sure that torso is parallel to the ground. The spine should be neutral. The core should be braced before pulling the dumbbell to the upper side of the ribcage. The bird dog rows elevated requires more core activation in order to stay balanced while trying to use scapular retraction to pull the dumbbell to the side of the upper ribcage. The pendulum row should assume the starting position of a stance similar to the deadlift. However, the hips should be hinged to the point where the torso is parallel with the ground. When pulling the barbell, it should make contact with the upper abdomen or lower chest. The pendulum row is a good way to increase scapular retraction strength by adding more load. I recommend doing 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Thank you everyone for tuning into another episode of Hooray Fitness. Sorry about not posting for 2 weeks. I was just very busy organizing how I was going to deliver more content to you guys with my 60-hour busy work schedule. However, I will figure out a way to be more consistent. Please check out my Instagram and Facebook for more content that I will leave in the description. Thank you. Have an amazing night to you all.